Welcome to our first round of memory sound experiments. This procedure will break new ground for us and hopefully lead to a better understanding of how music and memory are selectively linked. Let's start with an example. What do you hear?
It's
Recite.
This is thy hour, O soul, thy free flight into the wordless, away from books, away from art, the day erased, the lesson done, be fully forth emerging, silent, gazing, pondering the themes thou lovest best, night, sleep, death, and the stars.
And this one?
In Pompeii, the bodies are not bodies, but plaster poured in the cavities where bodies once lay, no less a hand pushing back ash, no less a woman with her unborn child twisting for a pocket of air. Forge, the fire, the glimpsed blade, the door we closed quickly, just as my brother said, now I know I will die, and I thought, of course, not me in the same second.
Mnemone is unusually sensitive to sensory triggers. One of the ways they record information so well is by attaching their memories to feelings, images, and music. We know for sure, thanks to interviews and some experiments, that this particular mnemone is sensitive to music and used it early in life to encode memories. Let me demonstrate another one. Recite.
I am much too alone in this world, yet not alone enough to truly consecrate the hour. I am much too small in this world, yet not small enough to be to you object and thing, dark and smart. I want my free will and want it accompanying the path that leads to action, and want at times that beg questions, where something is up to be amongst those in the know, or else be alone.
The administration is considering a new way to use the resources of our resident Mnemone, because as you see, there's such a visible, irresistible affection for music in someone like Mnemone. We hope to use music as a motivator and a catalyst for the information we need. We might be able to pinpoint certain types of melodies that evoke certain records and narrow down the information we receive, eliminating literary and superfluous material altogether and focusing on the historical archives in Mnemone's mind.
It won't work.
We've shown you how clearly irresistible the sound is.
Music isn't powerful because I'm an Mnemone, it's just powerful. I don't know what's going to happen when I hear a certain song.
Regardless, you
play somebody a song they've heard before, 30 years ago when it was still legal, they'll remember it. And it brings with it sense memories and emotions. Even if you play them something they haven't heard before, they'll listen, they'll soak it up, they'll feel it in their bones. Not just me, because my profession is remembering everyone. It changes the way you feel your hands when you hear a piece of music, your shoulders, the corners of your eyes, but it's not predictable.
So what are you experiencing when you hear music like this?
The day that played and it pleased the Lord. You don't really care for music, do you? Well, it goes like this: the fourth, the fifth, the minor fall, the major lift, the baffled king composed.
What about specific memories? Do you know what song goes to what memory?
Not always.
If you're looking for a particular memory, how would you get it?
Beginning is enough. First line of the poem, the start of the soliloquy. Everything else just follows by habit.
What if you start with music?
I already saw that. It's stronger.
What if I'm looking for a memory about revolution? Would something like this get it?
By looking now, how an unworthy thing you would make of me, you would play upon me. You would seem to know my stops. You would pluck out the heart of my mystery. You would sound me from my lowest note to the top of my compass note. It's Hamlet, and there is much music, excellent voice in this little organ game. Cannot you make it speak? Splugman, do you think I'm easier to be played upon than a pipe? Call me what instrument you will, though you fret me, yet you cannot play upon me.
What about this one?
How hope will linger in inmates of the soul house, which still rests on some weak reed, delving with eager haste for fancied treasures. Of joy overflowing, though it find naught but earthworms.
Take me back, Josephine, to that cold and dark.
The inauguration was announced. I'm 11. I'm in the city for the first time since my mother's death, and I have a copy of Hemingway, his short stories. I'm terrified of getting caught. In Buenos Aires, Zakir is a common 20-cent hub of coin that I don't want to let go of the book. I walk all night with it hidden under my coat, into which a razor or penknife has scratched the letters NT and the number 2, and the date stamped on the face is... I don't dare look at the book until days later, once the news has died down and I'm out of Gujarat towards the end of the 18th century. Zakir was a tiger. I don't know what to do with myself that night. Anybody I see could be a policeman. When I look in their eyes, I know they know. Persian astrolabe that Nadir Shah ordered thrown into the sea. Kept that copy of Hemingway for a year. Got me through that night. Felt lucky to me. Must have read it so many times.
If music is a catalyst for memory, what happens when an anemone hears two songs at once?
They conflict.
Explain.
It takes a great deal of effort to keep one thing separate when it's distorted by other sounds. The memory I'm working with suffers interference from other music and those memories. It's like what physically happens when two sounds interact. They can either align perfectly in combined intensities, or they can be off rhythm and suffer interference, silence, distortion.
What does it feel like?
Confusing. A headache if it doesn't stop.
Because you train yourself to encode memories with music.
No, music is just like that. Grace notes, emotion in a voice. I'm just a professional.
Let's see. Have you heard this one before?
No.
What does it evoke? The memory.
I'm not going to tell you about my father.
Describe that.
She's so young. This isn't what you're looking for. It's personal.
Keep it going. What happens?
She's just made breakfast. I'm 7.
Happy birthday, Nokori.
Will I be a real anemone now?
You're remembering more each day. You're learning so much.
Ask me one.
What does Polonius say when Hamlet kills him?
Oh, I am slain!
Yes, you were funny with it this morning. What's wrong?
Will I ever meet my dad?
You're still thinking about that. You did once when you were a baby.
Tell me about him.
He's tall and sweet, but he's sad a lot.
He
doesn't always know what he wants to do with
vast and
himself,
trunkless
but
legs of
he
stone
loves us
stand
both
in
and
the
he
desert.
misses me and you.
Swear not by the moon, the constant moon!
Miss Wick, she needs your help. She hasn't been feeling well lately.
Fletcher?
Keep going!
This is that husband, but she
Don't
can't
know
remember.
who he was. I miss him anyway.
Fletcher?
Sight!
Sight what? There's so much playing.
Your mother, keep her in focus. Tell us about her.
She taught me Shakespeare. She had hazel eyes.
We met in a church. Did I ever tell you that he found me preparing an outdoors and it was so funny to see him try to figure out how strange was. He didn't even know
Do you
what he
think
was
there's a way
hearing
I
when I
could try
offered him a memory,
to
but
memorialize
he
him?
understood the music.
Split the lark to find the music bulb after bulb in silver rolled. Each day, we go about our business, walking past each other, catching each other's eyes or not, about to speak or speaking.
This is interesting.
The hand that mocked them and the heart that fed, and on the pedestal these words appear. Look on my name is Ozymandias. Look on my works, ye mighty, and despair.
I don't need to remember him. I know I'll never be able to
All about
remember
is
him.
noise, all about is noise,
Just
and bramble,
keep
thorn, and din, each one of our ancestors on our tongues.
To honor you.
He visited me every week or so while I was pregnant with you.
It was very dangerous for him to do that.
Nothing besides
We
remains around the
stayed
decay
with the
of
doctor
that
friend of
colossal
his.
racket. I sound like we're better
When
yacht
you were
over the
little. Do you
roofs of
remember
this
that?
world and all manner
He
of
kept me
crazy.
safe.
Anything about a
When it
revolution?
was time for you to be born, he called your
Down
father
this
and
there,
he
the
placed
Luna
his
Little
eyes
Sam
in.
stretched far away. No, she's been so lonely.
Things that we don't talk about anymore.
Maybe you could recite that poem you gave to me last month, Corey? How did it start? About letting go.
Maybe that's why they took him out of the place.
For nature's first being's gold, her heart is true to hold.
Early leaves of flower, but only so an hour. The buzzsaw snarls and I will arise, and the fountain's pulsing sobs. Like this, my blood measures its flowing, so it sometimes seems I hear faint murmurs as it streams where the wound lies. I've never understood. Fletcher! I'm trying. I
Your
can't.
father loves us both. He has brown hair and sad speech. He grew up poor and wanted to learn to help people, but he got streamlined and so he changed his mind, and that's what happened.
Stop.
He didn't
Stop
do too much
music,
damage.
please.
He's got a soft spot for violin music and for house songs in the 1960s. Remember when I played you that song yesterday? That was his favorite when he was a boy before he was banned. He misses you.
Comes next.
Stop.
Give another poem, but I couldn't.
Stop! And I arise and go now, always, night and day. I hear lake water lapping with low sounds by the shore. I celebrate myself and sing myself what I assume you shall assume.
What's next?
What does my father do?
He's a policeman.
Corey, listen to me. Are you? This gift belongs to you. She told me when I was 7.
Chief,
You. Get out of here. I want your resignation in half an hour. Leave that where it is.
the music.
The people halfway across the station can hear it. You've shown how we apparently treat our inmates now. Randomly destroying an enemy possibly broken for good. And in front of an audience? Get out!
It's been authorized.
Get out!
She was burned alive. I remember. You looked at her. You were there.
Yes, I was there.
You looked at her. Your eyes soft, like wanted to hold her hand, but you couldn't.
He loves you so much, and he wishes he could meet you again. He named you Corey.
This is what I asked for. What's my father's name?
His name is Oberon.
I celebrate myself and sing myself.
Don't think about it.
what I
He
assume
would want
you
to
shall
know.
assume forever.
I told you to go.
Don't go looking for him.
Saw that name everywhere.
He loves you, but he can't keep you safe.
You ruined her life.
Oberon?
Corey, it is certain there is no fine thing since Adam's fall, but needs much laboring.
Go.
Yates. Corey?
Run!
You won't make. Chief Oberon forfeits authority. You!
I don't understand you.
I saw you 4 times in my life. 4? When you were born, when you were 8 in the crowd at your death, when you were 10 and got caught naming trees and almost got arrested for it, and then an accidental glimpse in Springfield when you were 15. Going out of that town so fast.
Our meddling intellect misshapes the beauteous forms of things we murder to dissect. Once upon a time, and a very good time it was, and all men are created equal to much memory. I shall devote my first lecture, the difference between lightness and weight. Music be the food of love. And I shall uphold the value of lightness, whose words would be Calvino, Borges, Locke, Washington, Wordsworth, Collins, Frost, Pound, Sue, Angela, Eliot.
This is inhuman!
We're not meant to remember so fully. We shouldn't waste so much time on the past.
No!
Let's focus on now.
You can't! There's a legal process! His hearing!
This enemy is broken. He can't help the country.
I promised I would protect him!
Why bother with the rest of the day, the swell of the afternoon, sudden dip into evening?
Corey,
It is better, in a paradoxical way, to do nothing evil than to do nothing, at least we exist.
T.S. Eliot.
How many enemies did you burn? Back when you burned.
Mnemone, I'm going to give you a choice.
Too many.
I was never a library.
Listen very carefully, please. I can erase you right now, or I can shoot you.
Already been shot.
Dead. Or I can erase you.
Mnemone?
Mnemone isn't taking requests today.
Corey Smith?
I said,
How do you start a revolution?